Namaste, I'm Shiva Swati and I speak on behalf of Shiva Shakti and Saraswati and some other gods and goddesses. So, this video is about the question of emotional and financial independence in marriage amongst men and women. So, men no longer like to pay everything for the woman because they feel sacrificed, and women feel that their needs are never sufficiently met. So, financial independence for women has become very, very important, which leads to the fact that men need to help in the house, especially if they have children. If they have no children, it is great, especially in a country like India, where population is so much and jobs are so less. And with each generation, the competition is higher and people fail more in competitive exams and jobs are so less. So if you don't have children, you are doing a blessing to humanity. Though your parents and your family might say that inheritance is getting lost, but there is nothing like inheritance, because um, souls change families in every life. So it's only the body which has inheritance, and you can always rebuild your inheritance, or you can always get inheritance more. If you don't have children, you'll get more inheritance. So, not having children in India is very good. Having children abroad is very good, because children are very less in several Western and European countries. So, actually, if you open the immigration laws and you are strict about children not being kidnapped, then a lot of adoption, legal adoption, can happen without harassment to parents or to caregivers. So, then in that case, why marry? If there is a lot of legal adoption happening and a lot of friendship amongst men and women, because of which for the younger people sex does not remain a problem, because they are open with each other. And unlike our generations where we were brought up in very strict norms, today's generation is a lot more freer. So when you are getting sex, and when you are getting children from outside marriage, and when you are getting your money from outside marriage, then you only need the marriage for emotional support. And then emotional support is something where you change partners all the time, and it's very rare that the same partner will stay with you for several years and give emotional support. And even when they do, it is sparingly. It is like once a day they meet and talk, or once in 2 days, or once in 3 days, or sometimes 4 5 times a day. So emotional support can be with friendship also. You don't need to get married for emotional support. Then the big question which is arising these days is, why get married? Why should you compromise on living with another person all the time who is not your parent? I mean, with parents, people are still willing to live because it is unconditional love, but with a spouse, it is not unconditional love. So, why get married? And very few couples have good friendship between them, because of which they can stay with each other even if they have friends outside, or even if they are totally dependent on each other. Some couples have very good friendship, but that is like 10% out of 100%. So 90% people have very difficult marriages. And then the younger generation, children who have been brought up in families where parents have been fighting all the time, they are the ones seeking love. And then if they get married, and they also fight in the marriage, because they are habitual to that. It's their law of attraction. They are habitual to hearing fights all the time, and their vibrations are such that the homeostasis is such that they also learn to fight. And then there are a lot of fights with their own spouse also. And then they are like, why should we live in such a tense atmosphere all the time? Why get married? And so much money being spent on marriages, when children need money for their building up their house and buying furniture, and setting up a business, or setting up their own work, or even for investing in a job, investing in education. So instead of that, parents spend on public relations and business relations, and foods and partying at the cost of children. So if you are spending a lot on weddings, you should be sure that you give as much to the children, so that the children don't feel that their rights have been spent on your partying, or on your business relationships. So weddings need not be such a big function, because weddings are very private occasions where two people are with each other. and they are trying to explore each other, find each other, and so many people are not needed in a wedding. So of course a lot of people can celebrate with you, but normally the couple does not want so many people celebrating with them, because people also comment and people also create frictions between them, and people can be the reason why a divorce does not happen later when they really want a divorce, because they're afraid of facing shame. And because of fear of facing shame, they might continue to live with a partner who's very abusive or narcissistic and whom they do not emotionally gel with. So the way out of all of this, of course, is to love yourself and meditate and find bliss. And it's a complicated process. If you want really to realize love from the beginning, you have to teach your children to live with compassion, to be helpful to each other, so that they are helpful with their partners when they get married, and they are compassionate and they go out of their way to help. That is required in a marriage. Compassion is much more required than competition. You don't need to compete at all in a marriage. You need to be compassionate. And if you do not have the skills of compassion, you need to first learn the skills of compassion before you decide to get married. So taking therapy before getting married and is much more a wiser investment than spending money on marriage blindly, because spending money on marriage is not going to make your marriage happy. It is therapy, it is your self-confidence, it is self-empowerment which will help you be emotionally independent after a marriage and make your marriage happy. So emotional and financial independence have become very, very important in today's world. People who are married are not always professionally skilled to help each other emotionally. This is a job of a psychotherapist, a past life therapist, a psychologist. So human skills are very, very specifically targeted, and they need specific emotional healing techniques. If you just do layman work, it doesn't work for long. People again fight very soon. So psychology and emotional management are very serious sciences. It is not 5 minutes work. It is not simply venting out. It is giving solutions. And for giving those solutions, you need to be technically skilled. Like to give financial solutions, you need financial management. So to give emotional solutions, you need emotional management. Past life therapy, NLP, past life work shows us a lot of solutions, because you explore unseen areas. So even cognitive behavior therapy will give you solutions where you have to do a lot of self work to heal yourself, and then once you are healed and then you get married, it's a lot easier on you. But if you get married like blindfolded, simply because it's an arranged marriage, or because you think marriage is all rosy, you're going to be disappointed, and you will need a lot of strength to stay positive. So stay positive anyways. Take care. Thank you.